Bonjour, je m'appelle Dr. Chen et bienvenue à French 1312. Chapitre 6, leçon 3. Aujourd'hui, nous allons étudier comment demander la préférence de quelqu'un avec l'expression quel. Hello, my name is Dr. Chin and welcome to French 1312, Chapter 6, Lesson 3. Today we are going to study how to ask somebody's preference with the expression quel, which can be translated into English as which, what, or who, when the question is in reference to a person. Ça va? J'espère que tout le monde va très bien. Ok. Comment demander la préférence avec quel? Comment demander la préférence avec quel? Page 168, 169. Now to ask the question, what is your preference? Or what is your favorite something or your favorite somebody, you will use the expression quel in its various form. We have the masculine form, the feminine form, and then we have the masculine plural forms and the masculine, and then the feminine plural form. Okay, it depends on whether the thing you are talking about is singular in number and masculine in gender, or whether the thing is singular in number but feminine in gender. When those things are plural in number, the form of quel you will use will depend whether those plural nouns are masculine or feminine. Allez-y. Okay, so quel. Okay, quel. You see that we have different forms of quel. They are all pronounced the same way, quel, but for the purposes of grammar, they will be written differently depending on whether the noun that you are using quel to ask the preference is masculine or feminine, or whether it is masculine plural or feminine plural. Okay, here, like example 1. Now, quel est ton gadget électronique préféré? Quel est ton gadget électronique préféré? Okay, the use of ton is the masculine possessive adjective your, singular. It is used here to ask the question informally. Okay? Quel est ton gadget électronique préféré? Now, when you want to use the question in a formal situation, then you will say, quel est votre gadget électronique préféré? Now, ton is used informally, votre is used formally. But ton refers to gadget électronique, which is masculine and singular in gender. So, quel here will be written this way. Okay, because gadget électronique is masculine and singular, right? It's masculine in gender and it's also a single object. Okay, now to answer that question, you will use the masculine form of the possessive adjective mine, which is mon. Mon gadget préféré, c'est mon iPhone. Mon gadget préféré, c'est mon iPhone. What is your favorite, préféré, favorite electronic gadget? My favorite gadget is my iPhone. So, mon refers to the masculine form of mine in French. Okay, to ask the same question, but when using a noun that is feminine, right, you will also use quelle, but you will realize that the quelle is written differently here. Quelle est ta boisson préférée? Quelle est ta boisson préférée? Because boisson is feminine in gender, quelle, which is pronounced the same way as our first quelle, is written with two L's and a E at the end. So, quelle est ta boisson préférée? And you realize that we have changed ton to ta, which is the feminine form of the possessive adjective your, singular your, right? Okay, to ask the question using the formal method, it wouldn't matter whether the thing is masculine or feminine. You will still use votre, which is your. Okay. Quelle est ta boisson préférée? Informal, formally. Quelle est votre boisson préférée? Now you realize that our préféré here, okay, has an E added, which means that it's because of the feminine noun boisson. See that here, quelle change with two L's and an E. The same way will happen to préféré, which is pronounced the same way as our first préféré, but it has another E. Quelle est votre boisson préférée? Quelle est ta boisson préférée? Feminine, you will use the feminine ta. It wouldn't matter if you are using votre. It will be the same votre when the noun is masculine or feminine. Okay, to answer that question, quelle est ta boisson préférée? Or, quelle est votre boisson préférée? You will use the possessive ma instead of mon, simply because boisson is feminine. Ma boisson préférée, see that we have another E, but the sound remains the same. Ma boisson préférée, c'est le vin. Ma boisson préférée, c'est le vin. My favorite drink is wine. My favorite drink is wine. Okay, now, let's see another Kel here. Okay, quelle est ton actrice préférée? Quelle est ton actrice préférée? You realize that here too, quelle has L and E at the end. Now, how come we use ton here? When actrice is feminine, you will ask. It's because we use ton because the feminine noun begins with a vowel. Okay, so be careful when you are writing your question or when you are forming your question. When the noun, feminine singular noun, begins with a vowel, you will use the masculine form of your. So here we said quelle in the feminine form, et instead of ta, we will use ton because for sound purposes. For sound purposes. That way you will smoothly say your actrice. Okay? Quelle est ton actrice préférée? Now you will know that it does not matter whether the object being referred to or the person being referred to is masculine or feminine. When you use the former question, you don't change votre. So, quelle est votre actrice préférée? Quelle est votre actrice préférée? Who is your favorite actress? Okay, now, here too, you realize that we didn't use ma because actrice begins with a vowel. So, mon actrice préférée, c'est Julia Roberts. Mon actrice préférée, c'est Julia Roberts. Okay, now in example 4, you see that we have an S. And then quelle, right? It's simply because restaurant, which is the thing being referred to in our question, is a masculine, right? But plural. So we add our S here to make it masculine plural. Quels sont, and then you see that the ton has changed to T, T-E-S, the plural form of your, right? So, quels sont tes restaurants préférés? Quels sont tes restaurants préférés? And you see that préféré has an extra something added because restaurant is plural. You have to make préféré also plural masculine. Restaurant is masculine plural. So you will use the masculine form and then make it plural. Okay, très bien. Quels sont, the same thing here, you made it the masculine form, right? The quel, but we made it a plural quel with an S because restaurant has an S at the end. Quels sont tes? Remember, the tes is the plural of ton. Okay, quels sont tes restaurants préférés? When you are using the former way of asking the question, you will realize votre has changed to vos, simply because restaurant has become a plural noun. Okay, quels sont vos restaurants préférés? Quels sont vos restaurants préférés? What are your preferred, what are your favorite restaurants? Plural. Now, to answer that question, right, you will say my. Now, you realize that mon and then the ma has changed to me, which is the plural possessive adjective because we have a noun that is plural. Okay, so you will say mes restaurants préférés. And then the verb est, right here, will be changed to sont, which is the translation of are, A-R-E, right? Okay, so mes restaurants préférés sont Tokyo's and Chipotle. Okay? Mes restaurants préférés sont Tokyo's and Chipotle. Okay. Okay. Now, in example 5, you see that we have a feminine form of quelle. But that feminine form also has an S. Right? So, we will use this feminine plural form because the noun being used to ask the question is feminine in gender, but it's also plural in number. Fête means holidays. Okay, so quelles sont tes, the plural, fêtes préférées? Quelles sont tes fêtes préférées? What are your favorite holidays? What are your favorite holidays? Okay, to ask the question, the same question formally, you see that you are using vos here, the plural form, right? Quelles sont vos fêtes préférées? Quelles sont vos fêtes préférées? Formally, to answer that question, you realize that we are using me, which means mine, but we use me here because fête is plural. So, mes fêtes préférées sont Noël et la fête nationale. Mes fêtes préférées sont Noël et la fête nationale. La fête nationale means Independence Day. Okay, so quelle can change its form depending on whether the noun that the question being asked by quelle is masculine singular or feminine singular or masculine plural or feminine plural. Quelle is pronounced the same way. It doesn't matter whether it is feminine singular or masculine singular or masculine plural or feminine plural. You will still say quelle, quel. Ça va? Très bien. Au revoir et à bientôt.